Vanderbilt heads to South Carolina. South Carolina is a 5.5 point favorite right now, and this is definitely one to keep an eye on. This is I don't want to say it's a big game, but it kind of is a big game. Vanderbilt has looked fairly efficient so far. They've done a lot of good things so far through 2 games, and this is definitely a game that they could win. Now, winning on the road at South Carolina is going to be difficult. The talent that they'll have to face is going to be challenging. But if you are Vanderbilt, the biggest thing you have to do is contain LaNorris Sellers. And when I say that, you obviously want to make sure that you take him down when he's running the football. You want to make sure that he's not making big plays with his legs, but also you want to challenge him as a passer. I think one thing that Virginia Tech did 2 weeks ago against South Carolina was forcing LaNorris Sellers to beat them with his arm. They were making him go through his progressions. They were making him read the defense. And if you're Vanderbilt and Clark Lee, that's something that I expect them to do, to give different coverage looks, to disguise certain things and make it so that he can't just beat you with his natural talent. And to be honest, that's what Vanderbilt needs to do. This is a Vanderbilt team, talent-wise, that is not on the same level as South Carolina. South Carolina recruits at a different level, and Vanderbilt doesn't have the natural talent. I'm not saying they're not as good. They just don't have the natural talent that South Carolina possesses. That being said, Vanderbilt can win this game regardless of the talent that they have, because they're able to play together. They're able to play smart, disguise those coverages, disguise those blitzes. Those are different things that this team can do. And if you are a Vanderbilt fan, you have to feel good about where this team can go, where this team can be, because of the culture that they've established, because of the ability to play together. That is something that's really exciting if you're a Vanderbilt fan. And they've done a good job of being efficient when they have the football. They've been really good at making the most of their opportunities. You know, their yards per play is 5.31, which is 102nd in the country. So it's not like they're creating these explosive plays. They've just been efficient. Their success rate on offense is 62%. That's third in the country right now. Now it's 2 games, but that's something to keep an eye on. Diego Pavia is a big reason why they've been efficient. He's a smart leader. They have multiple guys that have been part of the passing attack, part of the rushing attack. Pavia has been a big part of that. He's a great leader. Eli Stowers is going to be a big part of it as well. He creates a mismatch that South Carolina has to figure out. And again, being efficient with your opportunities. You may not get a ton of opportunities to score. You have to make the most of them. And also, this defense does not get enough credit. If you're a Vanderbilt Commodore fan, you're realizing that our defense could be solid, and our defense has the opportunity to do some exciting things. Containing LaNorris Sellers is going to require a group effort. It's going to require you to play with a ton of integrity, a ton of, attention to detail, and not relying on your talent to beat South Carolina's talent. That's how you lose this game. If you play together, you're going to be fine. But if you rely on your talent to try to win one-on-one matchups, you're probably not going to have a good time. Now, if you're South Carolina, you have to find ways to open up games a little bit better and not rely on special teams. Now, Vakari Swain has been electric. 3 punt return touchdowns essentially have opened up the scoring for South Carolina in both games so far. And they needed it against Virginia Tech. That game was closer for a long period of time. And Vakari Swain's punt return TD opened up the scoring. He had 2 TDs last week against South Carolina State. And he has been really fun to watch. And he can also be part of the passing attack as well. LaNorris Sellers' development is going to be a question that we have throughout the entire year. His ability to, again, read those defenses. Vanderbilt is going to challenge him to read a defense, to go through his progressions, to understand what coverage it is and where he can beat a defense. Right now, I think there are some inconsistencies with that, and that's what teams are going to do. They understand that they're not going to try to take him on head on. They're not going to try to slow him down with one person. They are going to use their collective defense to slow him down, whether that's confusing him or not understanding where pressure is going to come from. And this is a tougher than expected test. Vanderbilt is going to be a very tough team to beat, but if you're LaNorris Sellers and you can figure out this puzzle, you feel really good about what you can do going forward. And once you get into a rhythm, and that's the biggest thing for LaNorris Sellers, once he gets into a rhythm, he is going to be almost impossible to stop because the confidence he'll have throwing the football is going to let him play loose and just get into that rhythm. And then after that, once you realize, okay, now we have to respect his arm, he's going to take off with his legs. He's going to punish you in ways that he did last year. And that's just game over for so many programs in college football when that happens. South Carolina is still a team that is in the hunt for a college football playoff spot, and this is a good test for them early on. It's going to be very tough. Vanderbilt is definitely capable of winning this game. And while I do think that ultimately South Carolina should come away with the win, Vanderbilt is going to make things difficult. And they've shown in the past that they can upset teams that expect to win. South Carolina should not take them lightly. This one is going to be really fun.